After years of disrespecting referees, karma finally caught up with Luka Doncic in the one place his MVP trophies couldn't save him, and the judge's brutal takedown had millions saying he deserved it. Before we dive into this story, tell us in the comments, do you think the judge was right? Did Luka Doncic really deserve this reality check? What punishment would you have given him? And if you want to see more explosive courtroom drama on this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Now, are you ready? Because this story will completely change how you see the NBA. Luka Doncic walked out of Staples Center this morning with his usual confident stride, every step radiating the arrogance that had become his trademark. The 26-year-old Slovenian guard had transformed dramatically since his bombshell trade from the Dallas Mavericks earlier this season. The 2025 blockbuster deal hadn't just moved him geographically. It had transported him mentally to an entirely different stratosphere of entitlement. "I'm here because I came to win championships," he declared during his introductory press conference, flashing that familiar smirk. "I wasted enough time in Dallas." Those words had cut deep into his former teammates. Players who had fought alongside Luka for 5 years couldn't digest this dismissive statement. But Luka didn't care. He was now playing next to LeBron James on the team with the best championship odds in the league. The marble steps of the federal courthouse building were still quiet in the early morning hours. Judge Margaret Patterson had seen every type of case in her 30-year career, but the name she'd encountered today had surprised even her. One of the NBA's most talented but controversial players was about to answer for his actions in her courtroom. Patterson had been following Luka's games since last season. Her daughter Emma was a huge Lakers fan and constantly talked about Luka's incredible plays. But Patterson's eye was on character, not talent. The disrespect toward referees every game, constant arguing, and that never-ending "I'm better than everyone" attitude disturbed her. "Emma," she told her daughter one day, "this kid is talented, but he never learned respect." Now, that kid was coming to her courtroom. When Luka Doncic entered the courtroom, the atmosphere instantly shifted. While reporters competed to take photographs, he took his seat with his usual cold demeanor. His $30,000 Armani suit, custom-made shoes, and $200,000 watch showed he wasn't taking this situation seriously. His attorney, Marcus Davidson, came from Los Angeles' most expensive law firm. Davidson had previously gotten dozens of celebrities out of similar situations. His routine was simple: a little money, some political pressure, and the problem would be solved. "Your Honor," Davidson stood up, "my client is here today to resolve this minor misunderstanding." "Minor misunderstanding?" Judge Patterson's voice was ice cold. "Mr. Davidson, your client is accused of injuring a family in a traffic accident and subsequently threatening that family. Do you consider this minor?" Luka was comfortably leaning back in his chair, looking at his phone. This attitude shocked everyone in the courtroom. Patterson's eyes focused on Luka, who was behaving just like he dismissed referee calls on the court. "Mr. Doncic," Patterson spoke with a stern voice, "are you in this courtroom or somewhere else?" Luka looked up with that familiar smirk. "I'm here, Your Honor. I was just thinking about how unnecessary this situation is." A slight murmur rose from the gallery. Patterson's expression darkened. In her 30-year career, no one had ever behaved so casually in her courtroom. "Unnecessary?" Patterson's voice rose. "Do you find 18-year-old Melissa Rodriguez's broken leg unnecessary, or are you referring to the threats you made to her family?" The incident had occurred 3 months ago in Beverly Hills. Luka had run a red light in his Lamborghini and crashed into the Rodriguez family's car. The family car contained Mother Maria Rodriguez plus Father Carlos and their 18-year-old daughter, Melissa. Melissa had sustained serious leg injuries from the impact. Under normal circumstances, this would have been a simple traffic accident. Insurance would kick in, and medical expenses would be covered, and life would go on. But Luka's reaction had changed everything. "Who are you to get in my way?" he had said to the Rodriguez family at the hospital. "I'm Luka Doncic. No one in this city is more valuable than me." Carlos Rodriguez had responded with a father's fury at seeing his daughter's pain. "Do you think your money will save you from everything?" That's when the ugliest side of Luka's character emerged. My lawyers make more money than your annual salary. If you lose this case, I'll destroy you. These words had been recorded by hospital security cameras, and now these recordings were playing on the screen in front of Judge Patterson. Even when Luka heard his own voice, he didn't change his expression. He seemed indifferent, as if listening to someone else's story. Mr. Doncic, Patterson paused the video. Is this your voice? Yes, Luka shrugged, but I was stressed in that moment. Everyone has bad moments. A bad moment? Patterson's voice carried incredible astonishment. Do you define threatening an injured family as a bad moment? Davidson tried to intervene. Your Honor, my client at that time. Be quiet, Mr. Davidson. Patterson's eyes were still on Luka. I'm talking to Mr. Doncic. The tension in the courtroom was mounting. Patterson opened Luka's file, and its contents surprised even her. Mr. Doncic, this isn't your first threatening incident, is it? Patterson was flipping through pages. 2023 in Dallas with a waitress, 2024 with valet personnel, and now this. These are all exaggerated situations, Luka replied, showing his boredom. People do anything to get money from celebrities. Patterson's patience was wearing thin. Do you remember what you said to waitress Jennifer Walsh in 2023? I don't remember. Let me remind you, Patterson read from the document. You can't even afford my shoe's value. If the order comes wrong, I'll get you fired. Is this also an exaggeration? Luka showed his discomfort for the first time. That incident was different. How was it different? Were your words to valet personnel Miguel Santos also different? Your words, if you scratch my car, I'll get your family deported from America. Voices began to rise from the gallery. Journalists were furiously taking notes. These stories had never been revealed in such detail before. Davidson was starting to panic. Your Honor, these are irrelevant to the matter. Very relevant, Mr. Davidson, Patterson spoke coldly. Because this shows that your client systematically exhibits threatening behavior toward people he perceives as less powerful than himself. Luka couldn't look at his phone anymore. For the first time, he was understanding the seriousness of this situation. Patterson opened her laptop and began playing a video montage compiled from NBA games. On screen, examples of Luka's disrespect toward referees over the years were playing. I noticed something interesting, Mr. Doncic, Patterson spoke while playing the video. Do you exhibit the same behavioral patterns on the court? On screen, moments of Luka shouting at referees, ironic applause, smirks, and profanity were playing. Every image perfectly matched his behavior in the courtroom. Is this also a coincidence? Patterson paused the video. Your words to referee Tony Brothers. You don't know anything. I was playing this game when you were learning it. That's different, Luka went on defense. Everyone gets tense on the court. What about your words to referee Scott Foster? Your salary is less than what I spend in one night. Laughter rose from the gallery, but these weren't laughs supporting Luka. People were seeing how cruelly he behaved and were amazed. I see you have a general problem with showing respect to authority. Patterson closed the file. Referees on the court, judges here. You don't see the difference, do you? Luka got genuinely angry for the first time. I'm one of the most valuable basketball players in this country. Bringing me here and... Stop! Patterson's voice echoed throughout the courtroom. The courtroom went completely silent. Patterson had never been this angry in her 30-year career. The young man sitting in front of her was disrespecting the legal system, herself, and all values. Mr. Doncic, Patterson stood up. With your recent words, you have insulted this court, justice, and millions of working people. I was just... Luka tried to intervene. Your speaking time is over. Patterson's voice boomed and echoed. Now you will listen to me. No sound came from the gallery. Reporters held their breath. What do you think you are? Are you exempt from justice because you play basketball? Do you have the right to threaten others because you make money? Patterson walked toward Luka from behind her desk. I've been sitting in this courtroom for 30 years. I've seen murderers, fraudsters, every kind of criminal, but none were as arrogant as you. Luka's face had gone pale. For the first time, he was truly scared. While you play with a ball on the court, I protect justice here. While you make millions, I defend this society's values. And you're going to come here and tell me your worth? Patterson returned and hit her desk. Carlos Rodriguez is an electrician. He's been working honestly for 30 years. His daughter Melissa is studying nursing at university, wanting to help people. Maria Rodriguez takes care of sick elderly people. And you come and threaten them? Patterson took out photos of the Rodriguez family and extended them toward Luka. Look at these people, Mr. Doncic. Really look. This is Melissa Rodriguez. She's 18 years old, has dreams, hopes. Because of your accident, she'll undergo physical therapy for 6 months. Luka looked at the photos for the first time. The young girl's smiling face disturbed him. This is Carlos Rodriguez. He works 2 jobs to pay for his daughter's university expenses. And you threaten him. Patterson put the photos on the desk. Now let's talk about value. Real value. What's Melissa Rodriguez's value? What's Carlos Rodriguez's value? What's the value of their dreams, hopes, love? Luka couldn't answer. You play basketball. You play very well, this is true. But does this give you the right to disregard other people's lives? Patterson sat back down. I know you make money, you're famous, you're talented, but none of these exempt you from being human. Someone from the gallery shouted, "Bravo!" Patterson's words were being broadcast live on the internet, going viral on social media. You try to do the same thing here as you do to referees on the court. But I'm not a referee, Mr. Doncic. I'm a judge, and your arrogance doesn't work here. As Patterson announced the punishment, everyone in the courtroom held their breath. Mr. Doncic, I sentence you to 500 hours of community service. You will spend these hours in hospitals, elderly care homes, and homeless shelters. Davidson tried to object. Your Honor, this is too harsh. I'm not finished, Patterson raised her hand. Additionally, you will pay $2 million in compensation to the Rodriguez family. And most importantly, Patterson paused and looked at Luka. For 6 months, you will come here every week and give me a report. You will tell me about the people you met, what you learned, how you changed. Luka's mouth dropped open. But it's mid-season. I have games. Your games are not my concern, Patterson spoke coldly. The only thing that should concern you is learning to be human. Social media exploded. Luka, humbled, bought Judge Patterson. Karma is real hashtags became trending topics. Millions of people were sharing the judge's responses. If you don't comply with these rules, you will receive a 30-day prison sentence, and this time, your money and fame won't save you. As Luka left the courtroom, he faced a situation he'd never experienced in his life. Reporters were bombarding him with questions, but these weren't supportive questions this time. Luka, what do you think about the judge's words? Will you really change, or is this just a show? Will you apologize to the Rodriguez family? Luka didn't answer any of them. As he got into his car, his phone was ringing constantly. LeBron and Lakers management and his agent and endorsement brands. Everyone was worried. On Instagram, the Karma is Real hashtag had been used 50 million times. On TikTok, parts of the judge's speech had been viewed millions of times. The most viral video was Patterson's question about playing basketball well, but not having the right to disregard other people's lives. The comment section had turned into a battlefield with reactions like, "Finally someone put this brat in his place," and "Standing ovation for the judge," and "Look at Luka's face, he's facing reality for the first time," and "How can someone be this characterless with so much money?" But there were also defenders saying, "Everyone makes mistakes, this was too harsh," and "It's not right to humiliate our best player like this," and "He's just young and wrong." The first day of community service was one of the hardest days of Luka's life. He would spend time with children undergoing cancer treatment at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Nurse Sarah was cold while explaining the rules. This isn't a place for photo ops. These children are real. Their pain is real. You will show respect. In the first room he visited was 8-year-old Tommy. He was undergoing leukemia treatment. When Luka entered the room, Tommy's face lit up. "You're Luka Doncic. You're my favorite player." For the first time, Luka felt like he was meeting a real fan. This child didn't know about his money or cars or fame. He just loved basketball. "Hello, Tommy." Luka sat in the chair. "How are you?" "I'm good. The doctors are trying to make me better. What are you doing here?" Luka didn't know what to answer. "I'm trying to learn to help people too." "Great. I want to help people when I grow up, too. I want to be a doctor. At that moment, Luka remembered Melissa Rodriguez. She also wanted to be a nurse. She also wanted to help people, and he had injured her. In his third week, Luka was volunteering at a homeless shelter. Veteran John had been struggling with PTSD after the Vietnam War. I lost my home, he said, but I didn't lose my honor. Talking to these people, Luka began questioning his own life. His $50 million mansion and collection of 20 cars and countless luxuries meant nothing compared to the honor these people possessed. His first report to Judge Patterson read, "This week I talked to homeless people. I learned that you can be happy without money. I feel small." Patterson smiled while reading this report. Perhaps change was beginning. In his 6th week, Luka gathered courage and visited the Rodriguez family. Carlos Rodriguez didn't want to accept him. "This kid threatened us." But his wife Maria was more understanding. Maybe he's really changing. When Luka saw Melissa still in physical therapy, he swallowed hard. "Melissa, I'm very sorry for what I did to you." "Not just to me," Melissa replied. "For what you did to my family, too." Carlos was angry. "You hospitalized my daughter and threatened us. An apology will fix it." "No," Luka shook his head. "But I can change, and I will change." Luka took a check from his pocket. "This is for Melissa's university expenses, and I want to work with you. I want to establish a program to teach basketball to young people. Not just basketball, but respect too." The Lakers' performance paralleled the change in Luka's character. He no longer shouted at referees and listened to his teammates more. When referee Scott Foster made a controversial call, the old Luka would have exploded. But the new Luka just shook his head and continued playing. "Luka, why didn't you object?" LeBron asked. "Because the referee is human too," Luka said. "He can make mistakes. I do too." LeBron was surprised. This wasn't the Luka he knew. The biggest difference was with young players. He no longer shouted at rookies and patiently taught them basketball. At the end of 6 months, Luka appeared before Judge Patterson for the last time. This time, the courtroom was empty. "What did this process mean to you?" Patterson asked. Luka thought. "It taught me respect, on the court and off the court. I learned from Tommy that real strength is not losing hope when sick. I learned from homeless people that real wealth is character, not money. I learned from Carlos that real honor is working honestly." Patterson smiled. "How's your relationship with the Rodriguez family now?" "Melissa started university. Carlos and I established the basketball academy. Maria is teaching me Spanish. And most importantly," Luka smiled, "most importantly, I now like myself when I look in the mirror." Patterson closed the file. "Mr. Doncic, you have completed the court order. But more importantly, you have completed life's lesson." A year later, Luka Doncic had become one of the NBA's most beloved players. He was known not just for basketball talent, but for character. Judge Patterson watched the Lakers' championship game on television. When Luka raised the trophy, his first thanks went to the Rodriguez family. "This championship belongs to the people who taught me life's most valuable lessons." Different hashtags were trending on social media like New Luka and Respect Matters and Changed Man. People discussed his transformation as an example for young athletes. Patterson turned to her daughter Emma. "Did you see? People can change." Emma smiled. "You changed him, Mom." "No," Patterson shook her head. "He changed himself. I just held up a mirror." What happened in court that day changed not just one player, but an entire system. The NBA started character education programs for players. Other athletes reviewed their behavior. Luka's story proved that real change is possible even in the most arrogant hearts. All it takes is someone having the courage to tell the truth. And Judge Margaret Patterson had shown that courage. So what are your thoughts? Do you believe Luka's transformation is real or just a show? Which other NBA star should have to answer in court? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you love these kinds of secret court stories, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos. Which player's story do you want to see in the next video? We're waiting for your suggestions in the comments.